my name is Pip Coombs. This is my debut novel, The Hunted, and this video is actually for anyone out there who's hoping to become a self-published author or who's considering it but wants to know what's involved. We're going to be talking about how much it costs to publish this bad boy. So right at the very beginning of the editing process, I went on to Fiverr, which is a website where you can outsource various tasks. So you can get people to do IT-based things for you. You can find editors, you can find all sorts of different skill sets and services on Fiverr. So for $369.60, I found someone who was willing to go through the manuscript and comb through it and let me know if they saw any major plot holes or any major issues. And they also flagged some grammatical things and did a really basic line edit. And it actually came back with like quite a lot of feedback that I found was really, really helpful. Yeah, so that was the initial phase of editing that I went through. After lots of searching, I then found someone to do a more significant edit of The Hunted, and I used, if you go to noveldoctor.com, I used Steve Paoloni, and I had what's called the red pen of life and death and purple pen edit, and that cost total $2,700 US. And this was kind of like a mix of a developmental and line edit, so he was really awesome at providing some feedback about the plot, to flagging questions that the readers might have, and also he did a line edit. He does recommend that everybody has a copy editor after he's done a line edit because he won't catch every single typo or grammatical error, and that's totally normal. The Hunted was around about 115,000 to 118,000 words, and so that works out at around 2 US cents per word. $749 US got me the cover art. Now, I was really fussy about what I wanted for cover art. I could have paid a lot less for cover art, but I really wanted to establish kind of like essentially a brand image, because The Hunted is going to be the first book of a series. I want the series to have a cohesive look across all of the books. I want them to actually look like a series, not to look like 6 standalone books that have nothing to do with each other. I wanted to make sure that I got an image that I was happy with. I wanted to make sure I got to use the spine, and I also got to have some input as to how the back looked. And so, I mean, while you might think $749 US is a lot of money to pay for a cover, I think that is a totally justifiable expense. People are going to judge your book by the cover. And also, like, you get what you pay for. So if with editing and with cover art you pay $150, you're going to get something that's worth about $150. And you know, I wanted, if I was going to put in all this time and effort and money anyway, I wanted it to be good quality. So Kerry Ellis was my cover designer, and I found her through 99 Designs. I then paid $119 US to Book Design Template for an interior template for the book. And if you've seen the review I wrote on interiors of book layouts, you'll know that I wish I could get that money back. I just wasted so much time on that program. Then there was $324.99, which I spent to then buy another interior design layout program called Vellum, which rocked my world, and there's no going back now. It was so simple to use. It took me like 20 minutes to do what had taken over 2 days with the book design template, and it still didn't come out looking as good. Like, I mean, no dramas. There's a $50 uploading fee to Ingram Spark, and anytime you go back in and change something in your manuscript, or you change something to do with your cover art, it costs you another $25. And The Hunted is, let's see, 375 pages to the end, plus a couple of extra at the back. And it costs about $8 or $9 to print one, and plus then you have shipping and handling. So I printed a couple because I wanted to make sure that across a couple of prints that it looked the way I wanted it to look. One of the ways I edit is to read through it on the computer 9,000 times, but I also get these printed off copies, and I would say I probably printed off like 3, maybe 4, and they're about 30 bucks each to print off. And like sometimes I'm just going through and editing it, and then sometimes it's a final read through, and then sometimes it's once everything's pretty much sorted and done, and I'm looking for important points to come back to or important character traits. So it's a little bit like a series Bible or a quick reference guide that I've got here. And like I said, it costs about $30 to print from Officeworks. And yeah, I think I probably got like 3, maybe 4. So ISBNs and barcodes. If you are printing a paperback, you need a barcode. If you're just doing ebooks, you just need ISBNs. The website says that 10 ISBNs and a barcode costs $133. I could have sworn I paid at least double that, but I can't find the invoice, so I have to go with what the website says. So based on all of that, I spent $909.59 Australian and $3,643 US dollars. So what that comes to is a ballpark of $6,162.59 Australian, or $4,273.80 US. So I was aware of how much I was spending as I was spending it, but in the same breath, I hadn't also added it all up. So that was a not so fun number to see. The fact that it basically costs 4,000 US dollars to do a passion project. It's kind of like, no wonder I have no money. And I was actually thinking of getting a copy editor now and going through and making sure that I got everything that I could get. But I guess seeing that number, that's not going to happen now, or at least not for a little while, because ouch. And the fact that this is actually the first book in an intended 6-part series, it just suddenly got a little bit more financially painful. But this is realistically what I spent, and I don't think that I was frivolous with my money. I think I deliberately spent money on important areas like editing and cover design. And that being said, I could have spent way more. I could have really easily spent heaps and heaps more money, particularly on editing. And like, that would have been wonderful, and I would have really liked to do that. But there's only so much money that I had. As yet, I am yet to receive any payment for the sales of this book. And if I have, they are such small payments that I didn't notice them in my bank account. To be fair, I also didn't really have any sort of marketing launch for this book, and that's because I didn't really have an author platform at that time. I hadn't built my YouTube channel, I hadn't built my author website beyond the skeleton, and I didn't have like a blog or anything that people were reading and following, so I didn't have an established platform from which I might have potential buyers of my book. Why didn't I have an author platform and a marketing strategy in place before I published my book? Because I didn't have time. I do a lot of that sort of stuff as part of my 9-to-5 job, and I also treat patients as well. So my 9-to-5 job takes up a lot more than 9 to 5 and a lot more than Monday to Friday of my time. I spend hours doing marketing, of trying to get in touch with doctors, of trying to build patient awareness, of creating content for our patients. I train physios, I see patients. Like, it takes up a lot of time to run a physio clinic, and if you own a business out there, I'm sure you can relate. And really, there's only so many hours in the day, and there's only so much one human can do. So no, I didn't really have much of a marketing platform at all, and I didn't really have everything set up as you ideally would before I pressed publish. So I haven't sold that many copies yet, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not a super competitive person. I'm doing this because I really want to. That being said, it would be nice if someone bought the book, because it was very expensive to do. So yeah, help a brother out and buy the book. So just in case you're looking to self-publish, just keep in mind that there are other costs which I haven't mentioned. So they are things like registering a domain name for your author website, copyright fees, and if you register yourself as a business or a publishing company, there's a cost associated with that as well. So I registered myself as a company, so In the Clouds Publishing, and then I had logo fees for that as well. So all of that adds up, and having a logo fee and registering myself as a company, I think cost me about another $600. So there really wasn't any cash left over to play with. I didn't have to register a copyright for The Hunted because in Australia this is automatically copyrighted for me. I could have paid, I think, about $150 to submit my manuscript, and they basically keep it in some sort of like library vault, and it is registered with a time and date at which they received it, and that way if anyone contests your ownership of the material, then you can actually say, well, on the 2nd of April 2017 I submitted this manuscript, therefore I have ownership rights to it. But I have heaps and heaps of evidence anyway, so I didn't bother. I hope you found this video useful if you're thinking of self-publishing a book, and please do check out my book. It's called The Hunted. It is available in ebook and paperback. You can find it on Amazon, Kindle, the Book Depository, Apple Books, everywhere. So find it, buy it, review it, and I hope you enjoy it. And don't forget to click like and subscribe to this YouTube channel.